why your website is losing you money. So this is an extremely important topic to spend some time on because many people jump forward to thinking about which marketing channels to use, where to find clients, and they neglect the website. The website is essentially a tool to try to persuade as many people who come to your website, potential clients, to try to persuade them to give you a call or send a quote request and to eventually be a client of your business. So a leaky bucket, a poorly converting website means that you just don't convert as many of these leads to book clients. It means your business won't grow as quickly, you won't be as profitable, and your marketing channels, your return on investment on those channels will not be as high as they can be. So in today's video, I want to take you through the 5 most important points to be aware of when you set up your website in the beginning and you look to fine tune it going forward. So let's jump straight into it. So first of all, we need to make sure that we are very clear above the fold what we offer and where we offer it. What do I mean by this? So we are all in the house cleaning industry. We offer house cleaning services. So the section above the fold refers to the part of your website where people immediately land. If someone clicks on your web link, if they're on their laptop or their mobile, the immediate screen that they see refers to the above the fold content. And this is the most important part of your website because you need to tell your client 2 key things. You need to tell them, do you offer house cleaning services? And secondly, which locations do you offer it in? A background image of people cleaning is a very good way to go about it, but you need to make sure that the main title in that above the fold content contains these 2 important things. And many people I come across miss this second point. They'll talk about house cleaning, but they neglect to tell people which locations they serve, which zip codes, which areas, which towns, which cities. And if you get to the point where a client isn't clear of this and they have to scroll through the page, jump to other pages, go to your footer, this will have a big impact on your conversion rate. So make it really simple. You can say something like top rated house cleaning services in Denver, Colorado, for example, or number 1 maid service in Chicago. Whatever point that is, you need those 2 points. So make sure that you include those, otherwise you will get a hit on your conversion rate. Point 2 is not having enough social proof. So social proof in this regard really talks about your reviews, your online reviews, and many people, when they have come to your site, if you're a new client, they will probably do a bit of research online. They'll try and have a look at reviews. Maybe they'll jump back to Google and type your cleaning company plus reviews, try and find your Google reviews or find your Facebook reviews. But if you have a lot of those reviews already on your website, then in effect, this will give that person what they are looking for. And there are lots of ways you can do this. You can just copy paste from your Google or Facebook reviews. You can also embed code that automatically takes your reviews and places them on your website. So social proof is really important because if someone comes to your website, they see that you offer house cleaning services in their area, they've had a look at your reviews and they're happy with that, then it's just going to maximize the chances of them converting, them picking up the phone or them sending in a quote request. So make sure that you have those reviews dotted around and as many of them as possible, because this is really powerful. And as you get more and more reviews, this will be a real asset for your business. So make sure you have those on your page. Point 3 is to make sure your website is mobile responsive. So this is particularly an issue with more older companies or companies that haven't updated their website for a while. Obviously nowadays the traffic on mobile is greater than desktop or laptop, so more people will come across your business on their phone. So it is imperative that your website looks good on your phone, you have all the above the fold content nice and clear. It's called what is mobile responsive. So mobile responsive will be things like the titles automatically adjust to the screen of the cell phone, or the images and the sections of the website. So it all looks neat and tidy and well designed on mobile, because what you find is websites, older websites that are maybe 5, 10, 15 years old do not have this mobile responsive feature as part of them. So if you go to your cell phone and go to that particular cleaning company website. Maybe it's just shrunk down, the text is really small, the images are really small, it's really hard to navigate. If that is the case, then you will definitely be taking a hit on your conversion rate. So make sure that your website is mobile responsive. The reality is most websites these days designed and put together are automatically mobile responsive because mobile traffic is really, really important. You do need to run those checks, and there is software out there where you can test different browsers, different devices. So you need to, even if you have an Apple iPhone, you need to make sure that if someone pulls out a Samsung or is using Android, that it looks good. And so you need to test different devices to make sure that the website looks good. And there's various software on Google that allows you to see what your website looks like on those different devices. So when you're designing your site, make sure that you're running that check as part of your process. Hopefully you've been finding the content helpful so far. If you are, please click like and subscribe. It really, really helps me. Let's jump on to point 4. So point 4 is not having a clear call to action, CTA. So the call to action is really the primary thing that you want a potential client to do when they land on your website. So you can have either one CTA or multiple CTAs. In the house cleaning business, generally you want to be thinking and focused on 2 CTAs. So the first one is to have your phone number, very, very clear, very, very easy to find. The second one would be usually to fill out some sort of a short quote request form where you would put your phone number, your email, your details, what are you looking for? That would be the other call to action. So generally what I find is that people have 2 clear calls to action. So on the phone call side, generally, if we can get potential clients on the phone, that is going to be the best way for us to close that client to a booked client. It's actually better to get them on the phone than going back and forth on email if they send a quote request. So we need to make sure that the phone number is really, really clear. There's a few things that we can do here. We can make sure that our phone number is visible in the header, the menu part at the top of the page, and you can create something called a sticky header so that when you scroll down the page, that header is still visible, the phone number is still visible. You also want to make sure that you have the phone number scattered around your website. You want to have click to call buttons as well. So if someone clicks on that button on their phone number, they don't need to automatically or manually dial in that number. They can just click the button and it will automatically start calling you. So all these types of things helps that person to call your business. And the easier you make it, the more likely they are to convert, the more likely they are to pick up the phone or give you a call. If we were thinking about the absolute way not to do it, it'd be making your phone number very, very hard to find on your website. If someone is scrolling around trying to find out how to get in touch with you and they find it in the footer at the bottom of your page, it's just going to mean that your conversion rate really takes a hit as well. So that's on the phone side. The other side, as I said, is generally to have people try and fill out a short form. Usually the call to action is request a quote. That person would put in their phone number, their email, the type of cleaning they're looking for, and any other information you need to provide a quote. And that would often be like a short form that they can just fill out. This is great if people are unable to speak. Maybe they're at work at the office, or maybe they're on public transport. That's why filling out a form is a really, really good call to action. On the form side, there's a couple of really important things to be aware of. So, obviously a really, really long form is going to hit your conversion rate. So you need to get that happy medium where you're asking for enough detail, but not so much that people are going to be put off filling out that form. Obviously, a longer form will look far worse on a mobile device than a laptop. So we want to try to make our forms as short as possible. Generally, the shorter the form, the higher the conversion rate. So you really want to try to minimize the amount of required information you need to really maximize your conversion rates on that side. Those are the key points around calls to action. Point 5 is then online booking versus lead form. And this is a continuation of the previous point because generally there are 2 ways that people can, aside from giving you a call, they can either fill out a short quote request form or an online booking form. An online booking form is something that a lot of people are focused on at the moment. The online booking form essentially allows you to book a cleaning there and then, select a specific time and date, and input your credit card details to secure that booking. Whereas a lead form is a much shorter form. Essentially, it's just asking for some further information, requesting a quote, and then that would come to you as the business owner, and then you would get on the phone, give them a call, and then if they're happy to go ahead there, and then that would be when you would confirm that booking, and you can take card details to secure that booking. So it's more of a two-step process. So 9 times out of 10, I advise people to go down the shorter lead form route. And really this comes down to, the numbers, the conversion rates. In my business, we tested every single funnel. And what we found was that generally with a lead form, a short lead form, if it was a good lead form, it looked good, it was around 20% conversion rate would be what we'd expect. So 5 people come to our website and one of those people would fill out a form requesting some further information. Out of those leads, we would then get around 20 to 30% of those leads then converting to a booked client. So not every single person who would fill out a lead form would obviously book to a client, but around 20 to 30%. So in terms of the numbers, if we had, say, 100 people come to our website, we would expect 20 lead forms, and then 20% of those 20 would become booked clients. So 20% times 20 is 4. So we'd expect 4 booked clients. If we compare that with the online booking route, obviously the main thing here is that the form would be longer, but also the key point here is that if there is a credit card field, a place where someone needs to put in their card details, this is a much higher hurdle to transact. And what we found is that the conversion rates overall were far lower going down that route than the lead form route. What we found that generally, if 100 people went to our website, only 1 or 2 of those people would actually book through an online booking form. So you'd have 1 or 2 clients versus 4+ clients on the lead form route. And that is why, so if you're getting a double, 100% better conversion rate, overall conversion rate on the lead form, that is why 9 times out of 10, I'm telling people to go down that lead form route. And it sort of makes sense, if you've not come across a company before and they're asking you to fill in card details, it's a really big barrier. Whereas if you go down a lead form route, say you fill out a quote request and you get, that person gets back to them quickly, that's a big tick in the box because a lot of people will never get back to them. They take a long time. So if you're getting back quickly, that's a big benefit, a big bonus. And then when you're on the phone, the reason why I think this approach works really well is that ultimately a client is entrusting their home in our hands. They want to make sure we do a good job, but they also want to make sure that we'll look after their home, make sure we don't break anything, all those types of things. So there is trust that needs to be built. And that is far easier to do over the phone by answering the client's questions, by giving them a bit more information about what we do and how we work and all those types of things. So it makes sense that if you build that trust, it's going to mean that we're going to get a higher percentage of those people we speak to becoming booked clients. So 9 times out of 10, I would suggest going down the lead form route where your call to action is request a quote, or something like that, rather than going down the online booking route. So once you have your business website up and running, it's converting well, you're converting at that 20% level that I talked about previously, that if you were to send traffic to that website, your website is doing its job well. The leaky bucket is being fixed, we've got fewer leaks, we're getting a higher percentage of those potential clients who come to your website picking up the phone and giving you a call or sending in a quote request. Once we have that in place, that's when we want to be thinking about marketing. As I said at the beginning of the video, I think people jump to marketing far too quickly without focusing on their website. But now, once we have the website fixed, converting at 20%, that's when we think about marketing. And where I strongly believe that the best place to focus your efforts and your budget is on Google. Google on page 1, if you are a potential client looking for a cleaning business, the first place you go to is Google. So if we can maximize our visibility on Google on page 1, we're going to get in front of the right pool of people that are really in the market for what we do. So in this next video, I'm going to talk about Google marketing in a little bit more detail, how to run Google ads, Google local service ads, and SEO. And really that should form the core part of your overall marketing strategy. So if you have the website in place and you've got your Google marketing dialed in, your business will grow quickly and profitably. So I'll see you on the next one.